Hey there, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel. This is your weekly angel card reading video for the week starting February the 1st to the 7th, 2021. I particularly love how February lines up neatly. We start on the Monday on the 1st and it lines up perfectly in a grid. That's just me being a calendar nerd. So let's start shuffling and see what's coming up for the week. And frankly, it's quite good to have a sense of order given we are now in Mercury retrograde, which tends to promote a little bit of disorder. But those of you who've been following me know that I tend to avoid buying into the panic around Mercury retrograde because honestly, it's really not that big of a deal. Monday's card is teaching and learning. And this is all about, well, it says keeping an open mind and learning new ideas. I couldn't really sum it up much better than that. If you are specifically looking at an opportunity where you will be teaching someone or you have an opportunity to learn, maybe enroll in some sort of course or study, this would be giving you a green light for that. But the other things to think about is on a day-to-day level, whether you are getting a little bit of a nudge from the universe to open up to a new way of doing things, to consider a new approach that maybe you need to do a bit of research about before you take that on. The message is very much about expansion, and there is, I guess, an idea many people have that when they finish school that their education is done, and that's just not the case. We're here to continue learning throughout our lives, and that's why people often talk about learn something new every day, which is a great thing to do, but it doesn't have to be quite like that if you don't want to. It can be all in terms of learning facts. It can be more about learning how we can tweak our approach to life, how we can adopt new healthier habits and let go of things that are not right for us. Tuesday's card kind of lines up with that. It's life purpose. So if teaching and learning are part of your life purpose, this could be validation of that. I talk about life purpose a lot, and I'm very aware that not everybody knows what that actually is. So let's go back to basics. Life purpose is basically what your soul came here to do. There are a number of things that your soul came here to do. Some of them will be parenting your children, for example. Some of them will be here to give love to the world. We're all here to do that. But there are some very specific things that are part of your personal manifesto. Now, I wish we were given some sort of scroll to tell us about that. We're not. We have to discover it as we go along. And sometimes it can take a bit of time to get there. So please don't freak out if you don't know what your life purpose is. I only know parts of mine, and I know that that will evolve as I continue. I had no intention of being a healer, and yet here we are. I just thought I'd read some angel cards for myself and my friends, and look how that escalated. But there's a sense of rightness about that. That was the plan all along, I see now, but I didn't know that. And so what I had to do was commit with blind faith and know that the information would keep unfolding itself to me as we go. And I'm not there yet, there's still more to do. So if you know your life purpose, this would probably be giving you a bit of a nudge or a confirmation that you're on the right track. Please keep going. I know it can be hard. Keep showing up for that. If you don't know, you might like to investigate that. And there are lots of different ways you can do that. Firstly, a good starting point would be to ask guardian angels to give you a nudge in the right direction. But another thing to do would be looking at what you're passionate about. And those can often give us a bit of a clue. Oh boy, we've got interesting combinations here for Wednesday. 2 cards from one of my favorite card decks. This one says why, and this one says fork in the road. So I'm guessing Wednesday may be predicting a bit of confusion for a lot of us. Some of you may be coming to a crossroads where you're being prompted to really think about which way you're going to go. And for a lot of you, you've probably been approaching that for a while and haven't quite wanted to deal with it. So the answer to how you resolve that decision of where to go is to think about what is your why? What is your purpose, I guess? What are you passionate about? What is going to bring you the most meaning and purpose in your life? That is how you decide which way to go. And if you decide not to make a decision, you are making a decision in effect to do nothing, to stay stagnant. And that's not going to satisfy you over the long term. So really show up and commit to that decision. Think about, and also this could be, if it's not related to this card specifically, it could be about investigating some of the meanings behind what's showing up in your life. Sometimes that can seem too hard and we don't want to do it, but there could be some deeper questions you need to ask yourself about, what's driving me, Why am I going through the same habits? Why do I keep making the same, falling into the same traps? And maybe you need some help to get through those, because if you have the best of intentions but you still keep falling into old patterns or habits, I was going to say patterns, that could be a thing, that don't serve you, then you're gonna, that's indicating there's something going on in your energy that needs your help to resolve it, and you probably need the help of someone else to do so. An energy healer, of course, I would always be a big advocate for energy healing, because I've seen firsthand the incredible transformation it's allowed me to do in my own life. But there are also spiritual coaches out there. Shamans can also be helpful, but we're all here to help each other, so please don't feel like you have to figure this out on your own. If you're getting stuck and you're not really making any progress on your own, you know, working with a therapist or one of the other people I mentioned could be helpful for you. Oh, Thursday, forgiveness, one of my least favourite cards, if I'm being honest, and that is because forgiveness is a bit of a blanket healing, I guess, or blanket prescription that is rolled out by the spiritual community, and I think personally forgiveness is a little bit too simplistic. There are often cases where you can't forgive someone, you just can't, because what they did was too immense. And I think forgiveness is also what people often ask us to do so they can to get themselves off the hook, whereas they haven't actually taken accountability for what happened, or demonstrated a willingness to look at their habits, patterns, and do the work around that. So I translate this card as healing. What is it from the past that needs healing? Could be you yourself. It could be that you need to look at some resentment you may have towards yourself and how you can embody a little bit more self-compassion instead of, you know, being your own worst enemy and thinking that's going to be the road to a lasting change. It's not. Shaming someone, shaming yourself doesn't help at all. In fact, it has the opposite effect usually. But looking at where there are resentments or grudges from the past that you are still getting caught up in, and what you can do about that, how you can move forward. And again, you're probably going to need some help with that. Please don't reach for forgiveness. It is not, unless you feel that that is something that's actually going to help you. In my personal experience, and I know I'm quite different in this one, my personal experience is that is not a one-size-fits-all solution. In fact, often it's not a solution at all, because it doesn't resolve those underlying feelings of why this happened. Ooh, big card here for Friday. I'm just holding it as I wave my hands around. Past life issues. So the past is big this week. And a retrograde often does bring up the past. That's literally the point of it. Retro, the past. And that may seem like a regression of sorts, but actually delving through the past allows us to move forward, because we cannot move forward easily if we're still holding the burdens or the resentments from the past. So finding a way to make peace with the past, resolving unfinished business, letting go of the things that no longer serve us, all super important. For some of you, this will be speaking to a past life issue. If you are open to reincarnation, if you have a feeling that you are holding on to something that you can't quite figure out why it's happened in this lifetime, it's probably a past lifetime issue that you are still holding the energy of. And that's okay, because that's what we all have. We all carry this stuff, and it is all fixable. Fixable is a big word. Perhaps I shouldn't have used that one. Let's go resolvable. We can heal stuff from the past. It doesn't mean it always goes away completely, but we can lessen its impact on us. It will be very difficult for you, for example, to manifest a partner in this lifetime if you have suffered extreme losses in past lifetimes, and your energy will remember that and be thinking every time you meet someone, oh no, this is dangerous, we don't want to go down this track, we know how it ends. And you won't be consciously thinking that, because it's playing out under the surface. You're probably not even aware of it. You just keep feeling like, no, I just feel like I want to pull back all the time, or I'm not meeting the right people. So sometimes past life stuff can be part of it, and again, you're going to need some help with that. An energy healer, past life regression therapist. If you specifically want to know what happened in the past, I definitely recommend that. But you know, there are a lot of energy healers, including myself, who can heal past life stuff without actually having to know or examine what happened. Shamans also deal with past life stuff. So we're on to Saturday now. It's quite different to the week we've just had, a little bit heavier, but please don't think that that's a bad thing. We need to be able to face the stuff in order to let it go. So Saturday's card is the situation is already resolved. So whatever is going to come up for you around Saturday, please don't expend a lot of energy into worrying about things that are coming up for you, because this card is indicating that the universe is already working on a solution for them. Now, first thing to do would be to ask the universe for help with it, but then let it go, knowing that they've got your back on that. And that's not to say that you don't have a part to play in that, but what it means is don't try and hold on to your worries thinking that that's the way to resolve them. There is a tendency for us to think, I have to stand guard over my worries, otherwise something bad will happen, and if I stand guard over them, then I'll see the solution. But in my experience, we often find solutions when we let go, we allow space. There's a reason people often have genius ideas in the shower. They're thinking about other stuff. Sunday's card, I have not seen this one for a long time. It is a goddess called Nematona, and the card is Sacred Space. This is all about having a space to be by yourself, to connect with your intuition, connect with your creativity, to rest and unwind. Sacred Space, I have an altar. If you are a healer or a light worker, I definitely recommend you do this too. And I've talked about this before, but an altar, it's a good idea to have things that represent the 4 elements on it: air, fire, earth, and water. So on mine, I've got a candle, I've got a crystal, it's the earth, I've got a feather for the air, fire, obviously is the candle, and what have I forgotten? Oh, the water. I've got a seashell. So those are good things to think about if you want to set up an altar. It stays in the same place, and it's where when I sit next to it or in front of it, that is when I go into I can feel myself, my energy lightening up, and I just feel so calm there. So having a space like that. If you're not into the spiritual side of things, well, I'm not sure why you'd be watching me if you're not, but it doesn't have to be a spiritual altar if that doesn't resonate. But somewhere that's just yours that you can sit, maybe it's a corner in the garden, even if you only get the smallest slivers of time in that, somewhere to go, to just not be stressing out, thinking about stuff, just to be calm, to meditate if that's something you do, and just be a human being, not a human doing. So what an interesting mix we have. There is a strong focus around this idea of healing from the past, letting go of resentments, really thinking about what we're here to do, expanding, and making decisions is coming through as well. It's a lot, but hey, we can handle it. We have the capacity to do that. And remember, if you need help, definitely get a spiritual team. I mean, an earthbound spiritual team. Of course, you already have your divine spiritual team, your guardian angels, your spirit guides, etc. But yeah, get an earthbound spiritual team in terms of a healer or someone to help you with this stuff. Because if you're on a spiritual journey, you're going to need someone to ask for guidance from, or someone to help you translate the messages you're getting. I have one. I can't do this all on my own, no way. And my ability to help other people, such as yourselves, my clients, is directly proportionate to how much I'm putting into my own, how much investment I'm putting into my own spiritual growth. So that's it for the week. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you're not already. @OneGroundedAngel is my handle. I'm on Facebook, One Grounded Angel, and my website is www.onegroundedangel.com. And all my sessions are done over Zoom. So if you're wondering whether geography is an issue, it totally is not. Energy is not confined to the physical space. That's one of the great things about it. So thanks for watching, everybody, and see you next week. Take care.